from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
When you lose a parent, your parents are your past. But when you lose your children, they're your future. And our future is, at this point, gone. So that's what we're trying to do, is find a reason to keep going.
New pictures of a semi-truck that may have been involved in the crash involving two Moorhead brothers this past June is giving the family some hope for closure. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Mike is on assignment in Frisco with the Bison. The Minnesota State Patrol is asking the public for help in identifying this semi-trailer. Here's the picture of it. We first brought you these pictures this morning on valleynewslive.com. The semi has a dark blue cab, as you can see. It's in a late 80s or mid 90s Kenworth model tractor with a sleeper area. And the trailer's white. Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop sat down with Ray Qualvog, the father of Zach and Connor, the two boys who were killed, about what they are looking for next and why they feel they can't give up.
You know, the old saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words. I think when people get to see the picture of this semi, it is very clear.
There are 3 pictures of the semi. The Qualvog's crash investigation has been completed for nearly 5 weeks. It was Ray's mother that had the idea on tracking the semi.
Just clicked in her head. She says, well, Ray, let's take a look at those dash cam videos. That truck, he had to have passed them.
The Qualvogs say they are just looking for the truth and closure on what caused their sons to die on that summer day.
We have nothing to lose. We've lost everything. So why not press forward?
The Qualvogs say the next step is locating the truck, but they still have many more questions.
If we can find this gentleman or lady and then ask them some questions, what happened on that day? Why did you move over into that lane? So there is more pieces to the puzzle that have not, been resolved yet.
The family says they will continue to search for the driver and offer a $50,000 reward for information on the semi.
Because people often ask me that, what would your boys want? I know what my boys would want. They would want us, like I always told them, you have to try. You have to try.
In Fargo, Ashley Bishop, Valley News Live.
The Qualvogs say their billboard signs will not be going away. In fact, new ones are in the works with pictures of the semi on them. The Minnesota State Patrol says they can't find this truck without your help.
We're really relying on the public to help provide that information with, photos from that video footage to, again, find something out.
We're going to hear more from Sergeant Jesse Graybo and Ray Qualvog again about this case tonight on Valley News Live 10 at 10. On to our weather now. Cloudy and foggy out there is kind of what it's been all day. And now we're going to have a chance of snow. Let's talk to Hutch Johnson to see what we should expect tonight. Hutch?
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Watch for reduced visibilities with the hazy skies. We have areas of fog and freezing drizzle across portions of the valley will cause things to be very slippery, not only on area roads, but sidewalks as well. Visibility seems to be most problematic this hour near Carrington. That is also where the radar is picking up a little bit of snow. Southern parts of Eddy and Stutzman County, northern parts of the county. We're seeing a few flurries of snow between Fargo and Omaha. We'll have a look at that Frisco travel forecast here in just a second. But for now, temperatures near 30 degrees with a chance of snow developing between now and overnight. Accumulations of 1 to 4 inches possible for some. I'll have hour-by-hour details on what you can expect in the forecast coming up here in just a few moments. But be careful out there. It's going to be a little slippery.
All right. Thank you, Hutch. A 23-year-old Fargo man is in jail on charges of child abuse. According to court documents, Pittman Chipu is believed to have hit a 2-year-old boy repeatedly in the genitals with a plastic comb and forcing the boy into a cold shower. The boy also had bruises and scratches on his face, chest, and legs. Now, Pittman admitted to striking the child there and holding him in the shower. Officers found the plastic comb in Chipu's apartment after a search. Pittman is the boyfriend of the child's mother. A man is behind bars today after he led police on a high-speed chase last night. Now, police originally arrested this man, 53-year-old John Hamry, last week for a suspected burglary, but they released him because they didn't have enough evidence. And last night, police tried to stop him from making an illegal turn, but instead of stopping, he took off. Police say the officer backed off when speeds reached more than 100 miles an hour in town. Hamry's car was later found abandoned near the Convent Road on 52nd Avenue South in Fargo. If you have any information on this, you're asked to contact police. Fargo police have identified a woman that fell to her death at the high-rise near downtown Fargo last night. 44-year-old Wendy Melrose was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say they are still trying to figure out whether or not it was a suicide. Police say her apartment was locked with a deadbolt and they do not suspect foul play. Melrose lived on the 17th floor and the window that she exited was broken out. Fargo police say about 100 calls were made to dispatch from that high-rise yesterday, but they're not able to track whether any of them came from Melrose.
I'm not sure what they typically get on the course of a day, but dispatch indicated that was a high number.
Now, they also say the calls were short and came from a cell phone, but they're not able to trace that number. Pet stores in Phoenix, Arizona, they have to choose the way now and change the way they do business. It's now mandatory for them to only sell rescues. Other cities around the country are following that trend, saying they want to crack down on bad breeders and decrease animal euthanasia and overpopulation. Valley News Team's Nicole Johnson shows us what impact the law would have if it came to the Valley.
Cats and dogs, each with a different story, but all looking for a second chance.
I would never rule out the possibility.
Heather Clyde at Homeward Animal Shelter hopes the area would consider making it mandatory for pet stores to only sell rescues.
Puppy mills are looking to move their puppies in mass quantities, and pet stores are looking to get a really good deal on puppies that are coming in mass quantities. So the only people who are going to be doing that kind of thing are puppy mills.
She says it would run bad breeders out of business, create less homeless animals, and less animals would be put down, adding it wouldn't put pet stores out of business either.
I think they'd be perfectly fine adopting out animals. I mean, yes, it's different for them and it's going to be a loss of income, but they're going to get more supporters and people in there buying products if they know that they're supporting adoptions.
I spoke with a dog breeder in Ulen, Minnesota, who says a law would be going too far.
I think it would be kind of detrimental to the dog industry because there are many breeders out there that do sell to the pet stores. I do not personally sell to the pet stores.
She says pet stores should be able to sell both rescues and dogs from breeders, saying there's a huge demand for puppies, and most rescues are older dogs.
Now, some breeders that are just in for the money, but there are a lot of responsible breeders. I don't think, no matter what rule they put out there, will ever stop all the bad.
Although, another local dog breeder tells us he would like a law like this, saying no reputable breeder would ever sell to a pet store.
The pet stores are there to make money, so they don't care who buys these dogs, if they're going to a great home or not.
Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
PetSmart already operates as pet adoption for rescues. There's only one other pet store in the area at West Acres Mall, but they declined to comment on this story. Call it an unintended consequence of the president's executive orders changing gun laws in our country. It may now be easier to obtain previously restricted firearms. The orders remove local law enforcement from the picture. It used to be that you had to have the local chief law enforcement officer sign off on your paperwork. Now it bypasses them completely.
I believe they're positive. I mean, I'm down with that. People are always going to find a loophole around anything that they have with laws and regulations. But I'm down with keeping people who might not deserve to have guns or might have issues with them in the possible future. So I'm totally up for background checks and everything on that for gun control.
Now at the center of this issue, fully automatic weapons and suppressors, among other items. The Bison football team has arrived in Frisco. Later on Valley News Live at 6. What the coaches and players are doing to prep for this huge game.
Mild temperatures, but soupy air across the valley as we await big-time change heading toward the weekend. Arctic air is on its way. Your hour-by-hour forecast, including a chance of snow overnight, is next.